Hello and welcome. Thank you for coming, and those who are returning, thank you again. My name is Carl DePrado, and this is Cyber with Carl. First of all, I wanted to thank our 5 subscribers. I really don't like watching videos where people say, smash that like button and subscribe. But if you do it, that's great. You probably live a longer, healthier life. Anyway, um, but if you don't, I don't, I just hope you get the information. But one of the things that just happened is we had another cybersecurity month, awareness month, and I don't, most people came and went. They've been running these for 18 years, and I just became aware of it today. We even had one. And it's not really been very effective. I hate to say that because cyber breaches are on the rise. It's literally not any week that doesn't go by without a major breach being noticed or being in the zeitgeist. But one of the thing, so one of the problems with the reason we're having all these breaches in a lot of ways that we could reduce them is by focusing on the most vulnerable section of a network, which is people. As an individual, that's where all of the issues lie, or 90% of them. Most networks, big businesses will spend the bulk of their money on very sophisticated ways to block the perimeter of the network and not spend anything on educating, training, and making sure that their staff is just doing some basic cyber hygiene, which goes so much further. It's sort of like expecting, when we talk about, spending on these big initiatives and not taking care of the little things, it's sort of like getting that, taking that pill and expecting all of your ills to go away. You still have to have, you still have to do the basics of making sure you eat right, you exercise, and, you're taking care of yourself. You can't expect that to be done by a pill. And in the same way with cybersecurity, you can't expect that to be done with just a big program or a box that's installed in the network. Now, that said, so what is cyber hygiene? Well, it's pretty simple actually. It's not exciting, but if you do these 3 things, your chances of getting compromised go down dramatically. First of all, go beyond your basic password. What One of the ways to do that is to, what was I going to say, is not to use the same password in multiple locations. Use a password manager like Password Boss, Keeper. I don't really care. Use something. The reason why you're getting yourself a password manager is so that the passwords that are generated are all unique. And they have ways of autofilling, so you don't have to remember. The only password you have to remember is one password that you don't reuse again and again. The other things that you would do is you enact two-factor authentication. What does that mean? You basically, when any site that allows you to use it would basically send a text to your phone or open up an application that would send a network key. And that basically means that a password alone isn't going to be enough to go ahead and get into those protected sites. Then the other things is to focus on what matters most. What I mean by that, well, for personal online shopping, you want to make sure your bank sign-ons are secured, that you have two-factor authentication. If you're in a business, you want to check and make sure all of your business processes are have two-factor authentication. Again, by focusing on what matters most, and let's go into the computers. What matters most? What documents are the most important? Do you have a good backup policy on that? Or are they in 3 locations? Are you just trusting them to be on your laptop or your desktop? What happens if somebody spills water on that device and you've lost all your documents? You want to make sure that the critical ones are always backed up into either a secured off-site site, at least another device. The rule we always have is that the data should rest in 3 locations, 2 in one location, basically being on your home or some other spot like that, or a USB key, or or if you have it, a NAS, or as well as being off-site. And also when it's off-site, having two-factor authentication put on it. And then this is more for businesses, because individuals that we really don't have applications or things on the market. For businesses, you should have what we call a zero trust policy, which means that you lock down the machines well enough that nobody can put an application without knowing, nobody can accidentally install an application on the machine without it being approved and notified. Instead of the way it's always been traditionally has been that anybody can install anything on their computers. And the bad guys have been able to figure out and exploit how to do that. By creating a zero trust policy in place, you basically are taking that power away so people can't hurt themselves and hurt your company as well. So that's the gist of today. Happy belated Cybersecurity Month. Um, and if you need some help, we're here for you. A to Z Business IT. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day.